Hey, what's up guys, ClawSnacks here. Today I want to show you some exercises that you can do with an elastic band. By the way, I got this thing for about $2-3. It's withstood all of my workouts, so you can't really say you can't afford exercise equipment because, I mean, I literally got this from a dollar store and I can get a workout with it. You'd be surprised what you can do with it. Alright, so we're going to start off with some chest exercises with the band. And one thing that you're going to need if you're going to use a band is something for it to wrap around. I mean, you can stand on it, you can do a lot of things standing on it, but there are certain angles that you're going to need to wrap this elastic band around so that you can hit the muscles you have to, and you're going to need whatever you can, be it a doorknob or a chair or something like that. I'm lucky because I have this pole right here. It's one of those support poles that, well, holds your house from falling down. And this is awesome because you can literally wrap this thing around it at any angle. So if you have one of these in your house, maybe it's not where you like to work out, but you should do your workout there because you can hit almost every angle you have to with this thing. Alright, so let's start off with a basic chest press. So you're going to want to put this, wrap it around just like this. Okay, with the chest press, you know, like on cable machines or whatever it is you're doing, you want to hit chest at different angles, right? You want to come from below, straight across, come up high, curve in, right? So you want to be able to use different angles. That's why I recommend using one of these support poles. But I'm going to start off just with like a basic chest press. So you're going to want to set it kind of at your chest level, and I'm holding it just like I would have my hands on a grip of any kind of machine, right? So you got to kind of like know already your muscles and like where you put your hands. You kind of want to put them just along your chest line there. And then once you've gotten yourself in a comfortable position where you can work your chest, you're going to want to press out and back in. I'm going to do the best I can with the angles I have, just like that. One thing that you want to know about chest is that it's this muscle here, sternum, and then across like this, and attaches to your arm here. So if you really want to hit your chest, you got to make sure where it attaches, right here, gets extended. Right? You want to be able to get the full range of motion. So whatever you're doing with the bands, you want to make sure your chest is getting that stretch. So you don't need the latest exercise equipment to do this. You just need to have an awareness of angles. Now you can get bands that have tougher resistance if you want to and you're committing to angle training, but I like to finish off with bands and then I'll work myself, you know, kind of work on endurance, try and burn myself out. But you can definitely get a solid workout, well, post-workout exercise with just the bands. Just like that. And so make sure you're getting your full range of motion. You don't want to cheat on elastics, okay? They're not going to be as much as weights, and it's a different type of, you're not working with or against gravity anymore. You're working against this resistance, the elastic. So you want to accommodate for that. The next chest exercise, you have a handle. You're going to want to loop it through the handle. Okay, this is going to be very useful. Just like that, and then pull it tight. Just like that. See? Now I have one. So now I have my arm stretched out, right? You're gonna have to stretch the band out depending on how tough the resistance is to make sure you get that full extension. But just like cable flies or cable crossovers, you can do them one arm at a time. So I have it and I'm curling in with it, bringing it all the way out. You might have to twist your body a little bit to get that angle or step a little farther out. But you wanna get that full hug, right? That full squeeze. Arm extends, see the pecs extend. And that's what you want. So just like that. See, similar to the press, right? It's stretched and you're coming in. With the cable flies, you just are doing the same thing. It's just you're starting wide and curling in. Next exercise we're going to do is some rows. Now a row is any kind of motion where you're pulling the weight towards yourself. Well, I recommend this more with dumbbells, and it's a lot easier to do with dumbbells than a resistance band. For the sake of this video, we're going to do it. So I have my band around, and instead of facing away from it, I'm facing to it. And now you see, just like a cable row machine, like a seated cable row, it's the same thing. Then you just pull it towards yourself, right? Retract the shoulder blades, and back out. You might want to take a step back so you get that like a better full range of motion. And you bring it in, and back out. Again, this isn't giving you as good as a workout as a free weight would, but it's a good burnout exercise. So that's your upper back. Alright, now for your lower back, you're going to do some variation of a stiff-legged deadlift. So stand on the band, see I've got one hand on each arm. This makes a difference to know where you hold your arms, okay, and where you want your resistance to be. So I've got my arms out, okay? So now I'm getting a little bit of bicep and shoulder activation, more of an isometric type training. You're going to have them out in front of you. You're You're gonna bend over, right? Same technique as a deadlift. Then you're gonna stand up with it. Bring the hips in, down. So what you're doing when you're doing this is you're doing your traditional stiff-legged deadlift, but your back is doing its same extension, but just now it's against this resistance, right? So bringing my hips in. If you were to do it without your weights, you notice it's a lot easier, right? No resistance. But once you have that resistance, it's a little bit tougher, more something to work with. Now, if you're a fan of good mornings, you can do this with the elastics too. Stand on them, hands behind your back, and do your good morning. Now, it's the same thing, you're just working against a resistance when you come down. When you come up, you're working with it, but you want to keep it controlled. So bring it down and up. See, the resistance usually comes with good mornings when you're coming up, but this is a bit interesting and kind of, it's more of a negative style of training. And back up. For squats, you want to do something a little similar. Stand on the bands, right? So the whole point here is just to add resistance to your normal squat, right? So same thing, you want to have your hands up, right? Kind of in a curl. You're getting a bit of bicep activation again. So you're going to squat, and this is where the resistance part comes in, because now you're squatting up against the resistance of these elastics. And up. It just adds a little bit of toughness to what a normal squat would be. Alright, so next up we're going to do a bicep curl. This is pretty self-explanatory, right? You stand on it in hand, and you do curls. Now you are working against resistance, so you still want to bring your hand all the way up and all the way back down. All the way up and all the way back down. Now with elastics, the further you stand apart, right, the tighter it gets. But sometimes your feet just have to stand too far apart and it's just too hard. Sometimes I'll just sacrifice holding both of them at once so that I can further step on one side. How I'm standing for the double curl. Now I'm going to do a single curl with increased resistance. Let one go. Now I move my foot on the same side of my hand closer, right? See how the band got shorter? Now it's a tougher resistance to work with. That principle applies with any kind of elastic training. If you're going to do your shoulders or triceps or whatever it is, the shorter you make the band, whatever, use your imagination, the tougher it's going to be. I have another one here, but I don't really have anywhere in my house that I can do it with. So this is dependent on your house. Well, I mean, it's just essentially a pull-up. So if you want to work your upper back and your biceps, you have your cables here. You want to put them around some kind of bar for them to hang off. Oh, that didn't work. Some kind of bar for them to hang off of. And then with that, you can get your pull-ups done. Well, essentially, you have the handle here. If it's hanging, and then you're pulling it down off of a bar with a resistance. The good thing about that is that you could like coil it up around the bar a few times to make it tighter, just like you used to do with swings at a swing set. And yeah, you could do that for upper back or biceps. Can't really do it in my house, but it is an option. So we're gonna do some front and lateral raises, but I don't do two hands at once. I need the reach of the band, so I only do one. So just like you would with a dumbbell, lift the handle up to your shoulder line, straight arm, back down. Then you can even go out and do a lateral. You can go back and forth between the two. You can do one at a time, up to you. Another shoulder exercise, upright rows. So I'm holding it in both. I'm only standing on it with one. Palms in, bring them up along your body, right? Just like that. Bring it all the way up to your shoulder line, clavicle, stop there, and back down. With the upright row, your elbows are gonna go up as high as you're flexible, but the main point is that you wanna keep your hands just gliding down the surface of your body. You don't want them to come out like that. You don't wanna like jerk it up. You really wanna just glide it along your body and back down. With the bands for shoulders, you can also do a variation of shrugs. You might not get the resistance you need doing both at once, so I'll do one at a time. You're just holding it at your side. I really should lower this camera, shouldn't I? So I've got my one arm picked. You're doing shrugs based off of that weight. See, it's not my ideal amount of weight. People usually go super heavy for shrugs, which they should. Your shoulders are very strong, just like that. But what I would prefer, or what I would do, is do upright rows but from the side, like that. So you're still getting that trap activation, you're still getting a bit of a shrug, but you're just lifting your arms up, extending your range of motion against the resistance. A little better than keeping your hands at your side, because you'll have to make the band super tight. And even then you're going to be doing that side flexion, which you don't really need. With these bands though, you can do side flexions like that. Hit your obliques a bit. I don't really recommend that exercise. It's not very efficient for hitting your core. It's not very good for your spine either, but you can do that with these bands. Next exercise, to hit rear delts. Face pulls. If you've ever done a face pull, you're going to want to have it really high as you can get it. It's like a tricep pull down with a rope, but you're pulling it towards your face. They're called face pulls because you're pulling it towards your face, right? You kind of want to kind of aim for your chin. So just like this, you have your bands. Man, I'm struggling to get a good angle on this. So you're pulling it in. The main thing is that you're getting towards your face. You're bringing your shoulders back, and then all the way back up. And then all the way back, and all the way back up. Rear shoulders are hard to hit as it is, so it's wicked that you can hit them at home with an elastic. And your shoulders are being used really anytime you're doing any kind of press, right? So you want to have your band 1 foot, right? You can't do both at the same time because you need the length. Just like you would hold a dumbbell, right? And press. 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 Just like that. Alright, next for triceps, we're going to do a variation of a tricep extension. Really the only way to hit your triceps is to extend them. If your elbow is bending out, you're working your triceps. So if you can be creative, you can find many angles to do this. So I'm going to stand on the band, bring it around behind me. My roof is too low. Here, it's better. So I have it behind me and extending. And extending. You want to keep that elbow in. You don't want it to flare out too much, right? And in like that. Alright, so we've hit shoulders, biceps, triceps, upper back, chest, a little bit of lower back, and everything that squats work. A little bit of legs, but when it comes to legs, you don't need an elastic. You can just do it with body weight. Yeah, you're kind of out of luck if you're relying on an elastic for working legs. If you need to work your legs at a high resistance, I would just invest in a pair of dumbbells. I mean, they'll help you a lot more than elastic bands will, but it's another type of resistance, so it's interesting. It might be a good change for your muscles, bit of muscle confusion there, and they're good for burning out at the end of a workout. So elastics aren't the best form of resistance training, but they're better than nothing. I would only recommend not relying on them to work legs, but you can do that with your own body weight, so you'll be good. And last point with elastics, I mean, it's literally an elastic tube. It's all about your creativity, your imagination. Learn the angles that your muscles work at. Then you don't need to look up YouTube videos, and you don't need to watch professionals or get people to explain exercises to you. You'll understand them. You can come up with them on the fly. You can grab random things and exercise with them, because all you need to know is the angle. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more videos. Elastics out.